Ooh, Israel's doing some cool shit. It's basically attempting to cause the Iranian revolution. Basically, it's making it easier for the Iranians to revolt against the radical Islamist Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. By the way, what no one is saying at all about fucking Ali Khamenei was, he was directly involved in the Iran-Iraq war, where Iran was directly using child soldiers in human wave attacks and given nothing but plastic keys when sent against the gun lines and artillery of fucking Iraq when he was trying to capture more land. Like, he was directly involved in that war. He was one of the generals on that side. Because there's a Khamenei and there's a Khomeini. Ali Khamenei was involved in that war. Like, why is that never stated? He was involved in one of the most brutal wars, like, ever. Oh, and by the way, Iraq was not exactly a good guy in that war. Like, I believe the US's comments about that war was, wouldn't it be great if they could both lose? Which, you know, fair enough. You have Iraq on one side using sarin gas on revolutionary Kurds in an Iranian-held area, because the radical Islamist Iranians were appealing to the Islamist Kurds at one point to try and cause like an internal strife, let's say, in Iraq, because Iraq was more secular. And Saddam went, fuck that, and fucking sarin gas bombed the area, and it was horrible. Like, the accounts on that were like, people were laughing out of madness and then falling over and then coughing up like liquid and then just dying. Like, one of the witnesses there said he smelt some strange air and then he just fainted immediately. Like, that's what sarin gas does to you, it just fucking kills you. So you've got that, but like, you've got Khamenei directly involved with that fucking atrocious war crime of a fucking war between secular Islamists and radical Islamists. And then you've got Israel. Now, what Israel's trying to do is actually really fucking clever. Like, people do not give Israel enough credit. Like, they're a brilliant tactical military power, right? Because they've just basically gone in, taken out all of the air defenses, and are basically operating with complete air superiority in Iran, bombing the fuck out of Iran, right? They don't give them credit for the strategic competence as well. Like, what they're doing now is specifically targeting the Revolutionary Guards Corps, which is the basically it's the enforcement arm. So, like, during Stalin's time, they had in Russia, they had Stalin's organs, and those were like basically like the secret police. If you like badmouth Stalin or badmouth communism or whatever, they would rock up and arrest you, torture you, that sort of thing. Basically, Israel's targeting them specifically. Like, he's targeting the oppressors of the more secular Iranians directly. Like, that's what Bibi in Israel's doing. Like, one of the... And it's like a brilliant propaganda move when you think about it. Like, one of the things he did was he blew up the gates to one of the Iranian prisons that's holding all the political prisoners that have been arrested for either protesting or criticizing the Iranian government, not being Islamic enough, like all that sort of shit, right? He blew up the gates to that. He blew up like the head IRGC building, and it said he's killed like more than 1,000 IRGC of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps. Like, that's fucking strategically brilliant if you're trying to incite a revolution in that country. And apparently 60% of the Iranians don't like the government there. Like, that is strategically genius. You're basically pushing Iran into a revolution, which at the very least is going to destabilize Iran after America took away its nuclear weapons. Like, that is dealing with... Like, just indirectly, like, because obviously you can't bomb civilians, you can't kill civilians, you can't do any of that shit. Like, Iran still does it. Like, every rocket that Iran's got through has been, deliberately targeting civilians. But, like, Israel's operating on, like, a different sort of series of rules. And it's basically deliberately trying to cause a revolution in Iran, which is just brilliant, because if Iran's fighting its own dissidents, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps and Khomeini, which I'm surprised they haven't killed Khomeini yet, like, that would be, like, the nail in the coffin for radical Islam in Iran. If they killed Khomeini, they wiped out the IRGC, because the only next legitimate power there would be the Shah. Pahlavi or whatever his name is, and like he was always more of a secular ruler, like, and like that's the direction that Iran needs to go if you want just human welfare to improve in Iran. If you don't want Iran to be like a radical Islamist violent shithole. But that's just strategic brilliance. Like, the US come in, ripped their teeth out, they're no longer a nuclear power, although they claim to have gotten some of their 60% enriched uranium away. They still don't. Well, I'm guessing that the bombing took out centrifuges and shit. So basically the US pulled their teeth out in a nuclear capacity, and now Israel is bombing the fuck out of the IRGC, removing radical Islamist Iran's ability to oppress its people, basically. So allowing, in a much more easier way, for them to cause like a revolution in Iran, a more secular revolution. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Brilliant strategically. Like, you would have to be, but, leftists are retarded, to be against this move, to be against a revolution in Iran that isn't even backed by the US, isn't even really backed by the West, is only backed by Israel, and Israel's just doing it with strategic bombing in a country that they're kind of at war with. Justified war, by the way, if you're counting the 5+ terrorist proxies that Iran's using to bomb Israel. Like, why would you be against any of this? Why would you, like, fly an Iranian flag for a radical Islamist regime that oppresses, like, 60% of the country? Like, it's... like, the left are fucking dangerously retarded, and that's just assuming they're not all, either paid revolutionaries or just retarded leftist revolutionaries that just want to back, like, America and the West's enemies, so they don't. Well, so the West basically has more trouble, and then gets into more social strife, has more social tension, so it's easy to usher in a revolution. In the event of a revolution, then it's easier to implement totalitarian measures and control economies, which is what the left and the globalists basically want to do. Apart from cunts, like, supporting that, which is just obviously morally bankrupt, like, just to directly attack constitutional rights indirectly with a strategy in order to enslave people, like, that's obviously morally bankrupt. The left have just completely no morals. They're just morally bankrupt. They're just trash. But to that end, which is already fucked, to that end, support a radical Islamist regime, Iranian regime that has, like, literal political prisoners, literally uses rape as a weapon against its prisoners, shot, like, I think it was like 1,000 protesters that were protesting against it. Like, to support by putting an Iranian flag in your fucking profile, that regime. Like, at what point can we just say the left are fucking absolute trash and, like, should just be gotten rid of? That is some fucking evil shit, that is. Like, that's trash. Like, you're supporting evil, garbage, Islamist totalitarians to the end that you hope to make the country more evil, garbage, and globalist and totalitarian. Like, like, you're just kind of fucking really evil cunts. Like, why would anyone listen to you? And even the slant on the mainstream media, they're always playing up the fear and the ability of the Iranians to do reprisal attacks, to do reprisal terrorist attacks. No one's pointing out that the only reason they would be able to do a sleeper cell terrorist attack would be from leftist policy mass importing radical Islamists that can be used religiously by Khomeini to do sleeper cell terrorist attacks. Like, if you had a strong border and realized that, hey, maybe you shouldn't mass import radical Islamists, maybe you should have a, what did Trump say, Muslim travel ban from these countries, maybe you would have been alright. Like, you wouldn't, but, you know, it's predictable that you were going to have trouble with Iran. Iran is like the largest state sponsor of terrorism, gives like $700 million a year to state, like, to terrorism, to its terrorist proxies, has 10 plus terrorist proxies it uses to kill civilians in other countries. Alright, you got all that. You've got Obama attempting to appease them twice with deals that basically gave them large amounts of money to further fund proxy terrorism. You've got Biden unfreezing, like, I think it was a billion and a bit dollars towards them in like a weird hostage deal, attempt deal, sort of appeasement deal to try and appease them. None of that's fucking worked. And what they ended up doing with that money was, like, funding Hezbollah and Hamas to go into Israel, do October 7, just kill a bunch of innocent people and start a war with Israel. Like, the leftists are actually responsible for all of this with their policy. Like, all of it. The threat from terrorism from Iran, for giving Iran the money to fund the terrorism and start the war with Israel, which developed into the Iran-Israel war after the Hamas-Israel war. You can draw like a straight causal line from all leftist policies going back, like, what, 8 years? More than 8 years? Like, it was always gonna end in this. Like, it's fucked. Like, the left are really a fucking problem, like, globally. Like, that's what they've done is basically cause 2 wars, nearly an escalation to nuclear war, but Putin doesn't seem very interested in it at the moment. With their policy. At what point do you just look at the left and say, oh, hang on, all of your policy is bad. All of it. Like, mass immigration of Islamists, directly a terrorist threat. Mass immigration of MS-13, directly a threat from gang terrorism and human trafficking. Like, both of those are fucking... Child human sex trafficking is probably the worst crime you can have. Radical Islamists fucking, well, at least in Australia recently, tend to, you know, every now and then just do an abduction and gang rape of women, which is sexual torture. Like, one of those happened recently in Australia. Like, a girl was, like, abducted and then, like, gang raped for, like, 6 hours. Like, a 17-year-old, not even 18. And, like, that's Islamic. I think the media tried to play that off as, they were Australian. Like, it's... Okay, and that's just one policy. That's just mass immigration. That's weak borders. That's what that does, which is... Quite frankly, that should be more than enough. Like, sexual torture as a result of your policies. Like, perhaps you should be executed for treason at that point. And, like, we haven't even seen mass murder as a result of their policies, which we might see Islamic terrorism as a result of their policies in the West. Maybe not Australia, because our fucking worm of a Prime Minister Albanese kind of didn't even react at first, because he realises how much fucking shit he's caused and how bad his policies are. He didn't even really react to fucking America bombing Iran, because his policies are a fucking complete mess. Like, if he does condemn Iran, after he brought in like 27,000 Afghanis and more coming, by the way, more radical Islamists coming, he increases the terrorist threat for Australia. If he doesn't do that, he's isolated against China because he's alienated the US. So he's just put himself in this fucking position, this idiot position from all of his stupid fucking policies. And he's just like a weak little bureaucrat worm. And now in fucking Queensland we're gonna have fucking sort of British hate speech laws coming in, which no one consented to, by the way. No one fucking thinks that's a good idea. And you probably won't even be able to say fucking you probably won't even be able to criticise like shit like pedophilia in Islam, because it will offend Islamists who are, you know, conducting pedophilia. Like, it's like, Australia's fucked. Our political class is one of the slimiest, weakest and most corrupt in the world. It's just disgusting. No wonder Trump dismisses him. He's fucking pathetic. Why wouldn't you dismiss him? He's fucking useless. What's he gonna do? At best, and this is only in 2050, by the way, when they get their fucking nuclear subs in line, at best, we're a partial deterrent to China through a reprisal second strike nuclear threat. That's all we are globally. We're fucking isolated everywhere else. We're like some little fucking weird, creepy, totalitarian nation at the moment, with a serious fucking leftism problem. Like, all of our media, all of our government is ridiculously far left and is suffering serious consequences as a result of it being so far left. Like, that's what we've got at the moment. We're probably going to have a terrorism problem because, well, fuck, we've mass imported, what, 27,000 Afghanis into the country. Like, why would you fucking do that? That's the stupidest fucking thing. And it's like this leftist Labour attempt to try to capture a radical Islamist vote. Like, we had a fucking greenie senator calling for Australia to give political asylum to Khamenei, the dude who was like a general in the war that was using child soldier human waves. Like, do you get more fucking morally bankrupt and retardedly Islamist than that? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, how is that woman not hanged for, like, treason to Australia for even suggesting that idea? Oh, right, it's because Labour are trying to court the radical Islamist vote through the fucking Greens. The worst people. Like, such a fucking mess. Like, Australia is so fucked, politically speaking. Like, I guess UK's worse, but Australia's on its way there. Like, I don't think Australia, apart from, like, Queensland, has any laws like the UK has, where you can fucking literally go to prison for 2 years for fucking Islamophobia and shit like that. I don't think Australia's got any of that yet. I don't think we're real far off, given the caliber of our fucking senators and our political system. Like, if the US could just fucking invade us like Israel is doing to fucking Iran, if the US could just, like, bomb, like, Parliament House and fucking just deal with all these fucking slimy, corrupt politicians, which are, like, the worst in the world. The slimiest, the weakest, the most bureaucratic. Like, if the US could just do that, that'd be fucking great. Like, Australia would thank you. Like,
if you could like make us into a US colony rather than a fucking British colony, just like given the way things are going in Australia, that'd be great. Like if we could have like a full constitution, a bill of rights, gun rights, free speech, because apparently free speech is getting attacked by fucking leftists in Australia. Like all of that would be just great. Like if the US could do that. Hell, I'll take Israel. If Israel, you could do that for us, that'd be great. Oh no, I lost all my fucking Russian and anti-Semite audience. Fuck. Also, that's another thing. The fucking anti-Semites on the right. That's fucking hilarious. Like, you get these really weird takes on Jews that try to equivocate Jews with communists, like radical Stalin-era communists, right? Even though Stalin had the doctor's plot and wanted to kill Jews and all that sort of shit. Like, you've got these attempts to equate Jewish theology with Bolshevism and all this sort of shit. Like, fair enough, a bunch of Bolsheviks were Jews. Yeah, look, fair enough, I'm not... But Jewish ideology with the Talmud and everything like that, that's not secular communist, dude. Your fight is with communism, it's not with the Jews. When you like save the Jews, like, and like it's not just one person do this. Like a ton of people on the right are fucking brainwashed to hate Jews. It's weird how it's happened too. Like, and a lot of the criticism against Jews is like, oh, child sex rape and child rape and all this sort of shit. Like, okay, the Moyle thing's fucking gross. That is one sect of Jews. The Jews coming out of the sewer, fair enough. Yeah, they may have been doing some shady shit, like, fair enough. But Islam has, like, 900 million, has, like, nearly 1 million child brides. Like, if you're just counting, you know, mass child rape for what it is, and you're looking for, like, a site to condemn, it would be radical Islam that you wanted to condemn. And to the end that you want to condemn radical Islam, it would be a wise idea that to, I don't know, not import thousands of them into your country, and maybe, just maybe, stop believing all like taqiyya Islamic propaganda, and like give Israel a slight benefit of the doubt for like what it's doing. Like, okay, you can condemn like shit in Gaza or whatever. Maybe don't go all the way to the UN with all the Islamic nations that completely ignore all the massacres, like the recent suicide bombing in a church in Syria, by the way. Like, if that's gonna get ignored, why are we hyper-fixated on, like, fucking Israel, like, dealing with terrorists that have deliberately placed themselves among civilian populations? Like, there seems to be this radical Islamist bias in, like, the UN. Like, why? But no, instead of that, you get the left, and some sections of the right, by the way, just completely ignoring radical Islam. Like, to the point you have libertarian, like, sensible Dave Smith, who didn't have the COVID jab, like, good on him, was against all the restrictions and persecution because of the COVID jab, is totally free speech, all that sort of deal. Didn't like the idea of being shut down because he wasn't an authority and he was talking about certain things. Wanted to be judged by the credit of his arguments, yes. You have all of that, and then he just ignores radical totalitarian Islamism in Iran that's persecuting like more than 60% of the population. He just ignores that and says Iran should have nukes. And then he makes some sort of other silly argument like, oh yeah, Stalin had nukes, Pakistan has nukes. Yeah, Stalin has nukes, and now we're dealing with fucking current day Russia that grew out of Stalin that had the stability with nukes. With the stability from nukes, Stalin fucking conducted mass purges and was like safe from invasion from without. With like, nukes give you the ability to have nuclear reprisal in the event of another nation attacking you or funding terrorism against you, all that sort of shit. Out of all of that, Stalin with nukes, you have the Soviet Union, you have the Red Terror, then you have the collapse of the Soviet Union into Russia, what it is today, which was stable enough to sort of hold itself together. Like, look what happened to Ukraine because it didn't have nukes. It got invaded on 2 separate occasions by Russia. Like, and then, obviously, Pakistan immediately gave nukes to North Korea, which was just fucking... North Korea with nukes is horrible, and North Korea just shouldn't have nukes, period. Yes, they're a fucking Soviet communist era horrible dictatorship that starves its population. There's been like 3 famines there. Like, a type of dog went extinct in North Korea because they were eating dogs because they have no food. Like, that they are like so malnourished. God, Jesus, can't even speak. In North Korea, that their height is like 5'5" or something like that. They are like manlets because of malnutrition in North Korea. Like, and another argument he had was, oh, we didn't nuke Stalin when he was trying to get nukes in the 50s or whatever. I have made arguments in previous videos that we should have nuked Stalin in the 50s when he was trying to get nukes. It may have prevented a ton of horrible fucking communism shit in the world. A bunch of different... Like, it would have prevented the need for, like, a 1989 revolution. Like, I have made that argument that we should have. Oh dear. Like, it wasn't just me either. Like, I can't remember who it was. It might have been MacArthur or Patton. Like, one of the, the best generals that the US had during the war. One of them just fucking hated Russians. I think it was Patton. He just didn't get along with them. But he didn't have much political power because he was, like, bullheaded and spoke the truth all the time. I'm pretty sure it was either him or MacArthur, who was, like, a bit of a fancy pants nonce. That said we should fucking nuke bloody Russia. We would all go to war with Russia because they were fucking marching on Europe and shit. Like, they were a shit totalitarian state too, and like certain generals on the US side recognized it and like made the argument that yes, they maybe should have caught a nuke, or there should have been a war after World War II between the US and Russia just to take out the remnants of Russia. Because, like, at the time, we would have had, like, full air superiority, we would have had nukes, we would have had the bombers. They would have had an advantage in deployment because they already had their army there across Europe. But, like, if all that shit hadn't happened and the US just beat Russia then and there wouldn't be a Russian state like there is today. Like, particularly if we nuked them, like, in a manner, and had, like, a similar effect with the nukes that we had on Japan. Because Japan chilled right the fuck out after the war. Like, we fair enough, we, like, gave them a shitload of money and economic opportunity and helped build them up after the war. But we nuked them. That broke their spirit. They became a good country after that. Like, we could have done the same with Russia, and then we wouldn't have to fucking deal with, the Russia of today that grew out of the Soviet Union that had stability because of the nukes. And then managed to hang on even after the war in Afghanistan, the terrible war in Afghanistan, which nearly bankrupted them, and then the wave of revolutions throughout all the Baltic countries that they took over and installed Soviet leaders and communists in there, puppet leaders and all that sort of shit. Like, it would have been like, I don't think his arguments are saying what he thinks his arguments are saying. Like, yes, we probably should have been Russia. We're fucking evil cunts. Like, in the Baltic areas, some of the fucking work camps they took over, they just changed the guard of and just put Russian soldiers in like charge of the camps. Like, that's the level of how shit Russians were with all their gulags and shit. Like, they were barely any morally better than the Germans. It's just the Germans were fucking better with their army. Like, with like a numbers and material disadvantage on a clock with oil. The Germans fucking with Sucker Punch Barbarossa just fucking jacked the Russians and just like captured like nearly like 2 million men in like a couple of consecutive battles. Like they absolutely fucked them up at the start of the war. But you know, Russia has the numbers, but they won't have the numbers ever, like all the time. Like I was watching an analyst break down how many men Russia has lost in the Ukraine and the effect that that's going to have on their demographics. They might have a fucking serious demographic collapse. They've lost more than 100,000 men during this war. 100,000 fighting age men, which you need to, you know, keep the numbers of your country up, have children and all that sort of thing. Like 100,000 of them, and they'd already, due to World War II, had a massive, you know, scoop of their population taken out just because they lose so many men in battles because their tactics do not care about human life. But like, yes, like if we hadn't allowed Russia to have, we hadn't allowed Stalin to have nukes, we wouldn't have had to deal with fucking current day Russia. If we hadn't allowed Mao Zedong to have nukes, we wouldn't be dealing with current day communist China trying to fucking destroy the US through economy. Like, yes, what's he saying exactly? We allowed these countries to have nukes? Like, we regret that. What? And because we allowed communist China and Soviet Union Russia to have nukes and grow into threats today, we should allow radical Islamists to have nukes so they can be a radical Islamist threat in the future? Like, what's the argument there exactly? Like, fucking hell. Fucking leftists.
No mercy for any that would desecrate the Emperor's domain. No Xenos bioscans. Mission successful.